Good morning. I want to, before I launch into this, say hello, Sylvia. This is her first time back. We've been gone all summer. Yeah. And also, Cynthia. She's back from a major surgery. There she is. So we love her, and she's back. And I had a wonderful conversation with her this week on the phone, and she kept saying, well, there's that old word again, allow. Boy, that word just keeps coming up, allow. And I said, yeah, you've said it quite often, allow. And then I went to teach yoga that night, and I kept saying, allow. And I kept thinking, oh, there it is again, Cynthia. And then I went to the Diligence Way with on Friday, and he kept saying, you just need to allow. And I said, I got it. And then this talk comes, just allow it. And then I was looking at it going, well, I think I should do pretty good with feelings, because mine are always getting hurt, or, I'm always so sensitive, but not about that. So I did like a major seminar with myself for about 18 hours yesterday on feelings. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. And I was surprised at what I thought I knew, and a little bit humbled and embarrassed about getting this far. It's like the emperor in the new clothes, kind of going, oh yeah, I'm a minister, and then I'm going, ooh, that's what they mean. Oh, it's a little deeper than I thought. Oh, I was just going to go kind of shallow with this talk, but nah, you guys are ready for the feelings, right? You're going to allow that to awaken you. So the journey begins, and what I have to share right now is a little bit of background, and then I'm going to show a small clip at the 10:30, so I know that's a big day for you. You can watch it also. I think it shows up when we do our YouTubes. But this will show you a little bit of a visual of what Greg Braden talks about with the healing power of feeling your prayers. So it was also interesting. I was showing Charlie, I said there's a minister that wrote up an outline, a template. In our organization, we're trying to follow these templates through all of the organization, through all the centers, so that we all stay on the same kind of a thought form, thought waves. And her name was Sue Ellen Miller, Reverend Sue Ellen Miller. And I thought, how coincidental. But then when her quotes, I'm going, what? When I read them today, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to stay with what I'm saying. But I bless her words, but I'm going back to what I think you guys would like to hear. So it's all about treatment. We're continuing this month talking about treatment, which is our affirmative prayer. And we have all the steps to prayer, and we kind of reviewed those a little bit last month, and we'll continue to reinforce that. But it's also about the feeling behind the prayer. And as a practitioner, one of the most precious moments is when you are dialoguing with somebody and you get to that place where you are about to speak the prayer and you join in that field. You develop that divine field together in your conversation, and then you speak truth into that, knowing for yourself first as a practitioner, just really clearing the consciousness. But there's a feeling that comes with that is undescribable. And sometimes on one level, the person you're praying with will say, ooh, I felt goosebumps with that, or ooh, they'll start crying, or you'll start crying. And there's feelings that come up out of where? And you're speaking this truth, and it feels like there's a connection that is made on such a level that words can't describe. So we're talking about part of that feeling of treatment. And Living the Science of Mind, he just briefly, I wanted to share it says treatment and feeling. That which is felt cannot be taught, while that which is taught may be felt. This is one of the most vital things in the mental and spiritual science. And I appreciate the idea to keep reminding ourselves that this is a mental and a spiritual practice, because we can get too much in our head. And then we close the heart trying to grasp concepts. And really, the only true revelation is when it's distilled in the heart with a feeling, and it bursts forth into an outpicturing in your experience. A treatment has no power unless it has a meaning to the one who gives it, just as we know that a public speaker cannot convey a message which he himself does not understand. If we wish to convey the message, we must feel it. Just as the musician feels the atmosphere of harmony back of his technique, yet technique is equally necessary in order that he may give definite form to his feeling. So all of us as practitioners in our own life, living our own life, recognizes the whole condition as a thing of thought, and in his own mind we straighten out your thought with what's before you. So when we're in those moments of deep reverie and contemplation, we all do this, we all soul search. And so that's our mind trying to make sense. In so doing, we begin to reveal the eternal harmony back of the negative experience. And last month we spoke of denials and affirmations. And this has really become very pivotal in my practice, even though I fill in the blank. I know that divine truth dwells within me as me, and I speak my word into that absolute knowing. So this is the straightening out of our thought. It may be taught, analyzed, taken apart, put together again. It consists of words, phrases, thoughts, ideas, all of which are understandable, teachable, and learnable. Now, in practitioner training, oftentimes the practitioner, as they're ready to graduate, they're going, I just don't know if I have the words. I just don't know. Will I have the words? And we keep saying, doesn't matter. The words are words. It's what you feel. It's how you feel deeply and divinely connected to the source. Then let it go. Just let the words come. And keep the love open. The essence, the feeling of the treatment, the feeling which the practitioner has, his interior sense of divine allness, of that spirit which is closer to him than his own breath. This cannot be put into words. This love for the divine cannot be put into words. And that's the emphasis that we speak daily on as do your spiritual practice. Cultivate that interior heart of absolute knowing that this truth is so. It cannot be taught. It can only be felt. And when you feel your prayer, when you feel the prayer of another, you feel connected to the divine. By using right words, statements, and phrases and dwelling upon their subtle meaning, one may come to feel the meaning back of the words. Now that's the entire chapter that you listened to just now. Lots of words. But the invitation is to really look at any thought, feeling, or emotion to be present. What are you feeling right now? Where is that thought even coming from? And why are you experiencing it? Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Meister Eckhart says, God expects but one thing of you, that you should come out of yourself and let God be God in you. Rumi said, let yourself be silently drawn by a stronger pull of what you really love. By a stronger pull of what you really love. So this realm of spirit, this essence, this divine givingness, this is how we speak and try to articulate what love is. It's a wholeness that exists everywhere, all the time, every moment, every breath, this allness. And when we can allow our walls of being, all that we have developed in our persona that have shaped us and given us perhaps personality and charm or annoyance, it's all part of who we are and it's how we present. But filling all of that is the spirit of love, is the spirit of this divine givingness, forever having an impulse in us to give more, to feel more, to connect more. There is you've heard of the phrase, God is a sphere whose center is everywhere, whose circumference is nowhere. See that in your mind's eye as you tap into a visual of this idea of God as a sphere, all-embracing, whose center is everywhere and their circumference is nowhere. God's center and yours is everywhere, free of any kind of external boundary. When we realize that, we are not bound, limited by this physical frame. No, we are the center everywhere. Everywhere we find ourselves, our center is there. Where's your center? Right here. And in a few moments, we're going to do a practice of returning to that heart space. You're listening right now, hopefully, with your mind up here, listening to words and trying to construct them with your own understanding, and at the same time trying to feel what she's trying to say. What is mine to hear here? And this idea of praying or talking with God puts you in touch. This idea, this dialogue. Prayer comes from the dialogue, the opportunity to speak to the divine. What a privilege that we have this consciousness that can speak to the divine and to know that the divine is listening. And it's all engaged through feeling, through sensing. It's put you in touch with that, and it's not something that's going forward outside of you into another. Wayne Dyer speaks of this quite prolifically in all his writings. It's not something that you're forwarding out of your body into another, right? Because we're all everywhere present. God is everywhere present. God is, you are, I am. Those are the first two steps of your prayer. God is, I am. Spend time with that connection, that union. And then Larry Dorsey, who wrote many books, he's a physician, about the power of prayer, says, if prayer does not go anywhere, then it must simultaneously be present everywhere, enveloping the sender, the object, and the Almighty all at once. This prayer is not going anywhere. When somebody says, will you pray for anything going on in and around the world, for the hunger in Africa, for something that's going on in Pakistan, we're not sending our prayer. We're all one. We're all connected. So we just dwell with a sense of allowing ourselves to visualize the hunger, to not turn away. We recognize through the practice of the denial, even though I recognize the pictures of this suffering, I recognize the abundance that is upon this planet and the nurturing of this abundance and the power of the people to deliver this right here and now to that person that is hungry. And we just allow ourselves to be immersed and weep with our prayer, weep with our understanding, weep with our connection to the starving, weep to the idea of a planet that is so thirsty. Let us weep with it to get the feeling, to anoint ourselves with a greater understanding that when we stand in our truth, when we ground ourselves then in our truth, our prayer is set forth through us, as us, around us, following us, just being us, this prayer of truth. So it envelops the sender. It envelops because it is so large, there's no end to it, there's no boundary. It involves and takes hold of the entire planet and the Almighty, all at the same time. Do we need to understand that on a mental level? No, that's a block. That's called doubt. That's called playing it small. Why not play it up big? We've got so many lifetimes left. Not just this one. We want to get this one right. We want to start opening up and have this privilege of prayer. Prayer puts you in touch, Larry Dorsey goes on to say, with the truth that is within yourself. It is where the truth abides in fullness, and it is the center that you touch when you pray. You touch eternity. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want you to feel that sense of, move around a little bit into that knowing that idea, that privilege. And we start to recognize that as we define some of these terms of, well, what does it really mean? Like I was yesterday, just soul searching, what does feeling really mean? And I get a kick out of Nadine with our gratitude for the offering. She goes, no, she's up here trying to tell us, feel it. You know, feel it, right? Feel the words of what you're saying, this precious moment to call out loud this prayer of gratitude for the abundance that flows through us and continues to outpicture itself in so many ways. It's feeling it. And so we go, yeah, am I just mumbling my prayers? When I am asked to pray unceasingly, am I setting that intention forth? When I go to bed at night, do I leave the last thoughts with the divine? Am I praying into my dreams? And then when I wake up in the night, will I pray again? Praying to the divine, into an avenue of knowing, so my heart stays open in my rest. When my body is shutting down to rest, I am enveloped even more deeply with the divine. There's this connection and I feel it. Thoughts are the realm of the mind. They're continuous. They shoot and they dart and they begin from areas within ourselves, triggered by past experience, walled inside of us. And this we know, and this is what, when you take any of these classes that we're offering, the mystic and the essential homes and the Upanishads, all of them, the foundations course that's coming, the radical remission, it's looking at our thoughts and how much do you want to believe? Because you're bound there, That's what we want to free ourselves up and just, I am open and receptive to this divine matrix, to this field of absolute knowing, and I choose to walk with the divine. I choose my days to feel what I need to feel. So these words, sensing, feeling, and emotions. There's a therapist, Anna Halprin, and she does a lot of work with healing and transformation. And she said, sensing is that just checking in, sensing. It's that physical sensation of your body. So I invite you right now, just kind of sense, well, what am I? What am I feeling? Are my shoulders like this? Oh, I could lay them down a little bit. Am I sensing that I'm closing my heart in, I'm kind of depressed? Or can I roll my shoulders back and offer my heart forward? Am I even aware that my feet are on the ground? My body, am I sensing my aliveness in my body? Can I feel that? Can I sense that? Awareness to the body. Where's your tightness? Where's your sense of heat and cold in the body? And then that moves very gently, quickly, swiftly into feelings, because then we start to associate. And feelings, remember, feelings refer to moods. They are sad, upset, impatient, vulnerable. There are feelings. There are feelings. And they're generated a lot in different areas of the body. You associate an experience of being wounded or your feelings hurt somewhere. And so you kind of hide that, and you might feel it in your gut. You get the butterflies, you get the insecurities, and then that develops into an emotion. And you start to realize that you have these emotions. They're resting behind our feelings. And there's deep layers of these feelings. They can be love, hate, fear, grief, or ecstasy. They are the deepest response that we have to our life experience. These are the emotions. They have the deepest response to what we hold in our life. So when we start our prayer, we begin in our body. We begin in our body. So often we begin in the head, seeking for the right words, trying to impress ourselves or the one that's before us. But no, we got to start being in our body. Call it in. Inhabit through your senses. Allow it to lead you inward. And this leads way back to the Vedic texts from the Upanishads, and then builds from the Yoga Sutras, and then builds into all the new thought wisdom makers from the early Quimby healers. And then it's moving now into our generation of healers that are showing now, because we have the scientific tools to demonstrate this through all of the amazing Heart Math Institute. Now we can have visuals, and we'll have an experience of that a little bit later. So here it is. Let's start by inhabiting. Let us be led inward. Let us have a sense of everything of the senses: sound and touch, smell and taste. Ask and ye shall receive. So as we speak into this field of language, we begin to recognize that we're creating feelings in our heart. And we recognize there's where the prayers appear answered. So I invite you right now to kind of close your eyes and sense and move your body. Don't be shy. Wherever your eyes are closed. And here's where we have faith and trust that everyone's closing their eyes. I remember that being the biggest challenge when I was a kid. And praying, I'd always peek. I don't know what I was peeking for, because then you're out, then you're disconnected. Stay in there and feel what you need to feel. Ask and you shall feel and receive. And touch your heart. And this idea of touching the heart space, 2 hands covering the heart, such a sweet mantra, mudra, this prayer gesture with the thumbs touching gently into that space. 1 hand, a few fingers, heart, connecting. And then there you just begin to create the feeling of what it is like to be in the heart. And you begin to breathe a little bit deeper. You see, when we think too much and we're charged with the mental thought, and we take that pathway, our breath is quickening. We touch the heart, and we go deeper into a responsive breath that calms the triggers, that calms those chemicals of the brain, and we start to connect with the neurons of the heart, the specialized 20, 40,000 cells of the heart that are specialized just for this divine purpose. And so you start to realize that whatever you ask in the name of the divine, it shall be given unto you. However, we've read that scripture over and over. Stay in your heart and deeply listen now, because the how to do this has been edited out, and then through the Aramaic tradition, this prayer should include what points to this: all things that you ask straightly, directly from inside my name. Everything you ask, you will be given. But so far you have not done this, it goes on to say. Because if we're asking only with our voice, we have not done this. Ask now without any hidden motive. Hidden motives. Ask without judgment. And it goes on and finally says, and be surrounded by your answer. Be surrounded by your answer. Be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire. Wow. Sometimes we leave our prayer still. Stay there, everyone. See it in your mind's eye that you're enveloped in that divine grace. Can you feel that? Breathe deeper into that realm as we discover the closing in that, and your gladness be full. The quality of your feeling is asking without any hidden agenda. There's no right or wrong in what you are divinely asking for and deep in that heart space. You ask from the field of the heart, not the ego of the mind. Oh, we're so deep into that place, so close. Feel as if it's so. What is your intention now as you speak that? Sense it, feel it. Name your process as you feel the emotions. See your belief. Words are now not the prayer. Feeling is your prayer. Feeling it as you, in your mind's eye, you are creating the visual field as you start to unite all the centers of the body and you start to really feel and embody the prayer. God is. Oh, it's the glory, it's the love, it's the beauty. I am the glory, the love, and the beauty. And I accept now. And then, whispering from the many rooms of the house that you dwell in starts to whisper the small doubts, and you speak to those, even though I am witnessing an insecure feeling right now, I know that the divine lives and breathes as me, in me, through me, and I declare this peace right here, right now, and I feel the Spirit moving. I feel the Spirit moving. I begin to anoint my words with this love, with this grace, with this truth. I feel my prayer moving. Feel the prayer. You're connected to the heart. Dropping in that space, you're breathing slowly. You're in the heart, not the mind. Allow your thought and your emotion to become one. Become love. Become love, enveloping whatever thought you carry. Feel the outpicturing. Feel the result of this mystical, magical moment that we share in this room. We have built this feeling together. We sense it together. We are enveloped in this divine light right now. It's so precious. It's so precious. It's calling to us. And we're abiding in this love and this grace and this truth. See yourself within the prayer and see who you are in the power of the heart field, where the language is so recognized by the divine. Ask now, and ye shall receive. Ask now, and you shall receive. See yourself in that fulfilled state. Into the divine field, this matrix of love. You feel as if it's already so, and you know what you want. You can physically see in your imagination. Feel it. This room is expanded. The walls are down. You can feel the emotion. You can feel the stinging of the waters of the body, the tears, the quickening, as truth is revealed, as we pray as we're meant to pray. Seek and ye shall find. And we dwell in the house of the Lord. The Lord. The Lord is the love. The Lord is the altar. The Lord is the Atman. The Atman. The very essence of your true self. Merge with the divine self. Sense what you're feeling. Reposture yourself and allow yourself to go even a little bit deeper as we move into gratitude, as we give thanks for this experience together. We have moved as a mass of people into a sense of oneness and unity, of peace for all. It's right here. There's no place to go. It's right here. It lives and breathes in each one of us. We are one, and I give thanks. I give thanks for the privilege to stand and share and feel the love in this room. And then we release and we let go, knowing with absolute confidence, it's already so. It's already so. And together we say, and so it is. Yeah. Feel it. Take it home. Thank you.